Hey there, family. Gabrielle here, daughter of the Almighty, mom to two amazing kids, and a Yorkie named Luna. Also, I'm a fellow Christian business owner. If you're ready to say yes to financial clarity and exchange chaos for calm, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into strong faith, practical stewardship, and savvy bookkeeping. All right, family, grab your coffee and your notebook. Let's talk about God, business, and getting those books in order. Hi, family. Welcome back to another episode of Guiding Grace Bookkeeping. I'm your host, Gabrielle, and I'm so excited to dive into today's topic because it touches on something we all experience: fear and anxiety. Ooh, yep. Another one. We getting deep, guys. We getting deep. We getting deep. So today's topic is find courage, listening to God's direction when anxiety strikes. We're going to refer to Joshua, the story of Joshua. So, running a business, especially a Christian business, can feel like walking on uncharted territory, even any kind of business, to be honest. There are moments when the numbers just don't add up, when the cash flow feels more like a trickle than a stream, or when a big tax deadline looms. Okay, we're about to get into quarter four, if not already. It's time for quarterly taxes. So, and in those moments, a knot can form in our stomach. We can sit down and think about, oh my goodness, my books are not in order. I'm stressed out. How do I go about this? How much I gonna owe? Am I getting the right tax deductions? Everything that comes around with tax season, right? But today, we're going to find courage together. We're going to explore how to listen to God's direction even when anxiety strikes. We're going to draw powerful lessons from Joshua. Okay? This is my go to, one of my many go tos. All right. So, Joshua was stepping into some incredibly big shoes, taking over from Moses. Now, that's huge, right? You're freeing Israel from Egypt, the Red Sea parting. That's a lot to come behind. So he was leading the entire nation into the promised land that was filled with giants and fortified cities. All right. So God knew that Joshua would feel overwhelmed, and that's why he gave him one of my favorite verses in the Bible, found in Joshua 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Ooh, let's pause because I want that to sink for a second. God said to be strong and courageous because he got your back. Let's look at the magnitude of that. We're not just citing scripture just to be cute. The Alpha Omega, the creator of heaven and earth, all right, got your back and is telling you, don't be scared, I got you. That's deep. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I'm getting chills just think about it. And the fact that God knew that Joshua needed to hear that, and because he loves us so much, he was like, I'm going to tell him this for reassurance, is powerful. So, oof, I just want to pause. That just feels so good every time I talk about that verse. So let's think about this in the context of our bookkeeping habits. Maybe you're a small business owner and the thought of reconciling your bank accounts at the end of the month fills you with dread. It feels like a chaotic battle that you'll never win because you're just like, oh my goodness, you blink. I don't know about you guys, but if I blink, the end of the month, like how are we already in October? I feel like we just said Happy New Year's. Okay. It's time for the holiday season and Christmas. So I could tell you that I've personally been there for myself. When I first started this bookkeeping business, learning the foundation, setting up my systems, committing to truly making God the CEO of my business, I was filled with fear and anxiety. Go back to episode 1 because I gave you a little introduction about myself, about how I was terrified. All right. So I was worried I wouldn't find clients who value my work. I was worried that if I did find them, I would make a mistake that would cost them or me dearly, right? We're dealing with financials here. Even though it's just record keeping, we're dealing with that. And fear was creeping up in every corner of my life. The doubts, the what ifs, the freaking out, the Gabrielle, what if you don't know what you're doing? The this is a new area, but you're passionate about it, and all the little doubts that wanted to spring up. So, in that time when I realized that I was getting overwhelmed with my anxiety, I had to take a step back and remember Joshua 1:9. God wasn't telling Joshua to be a flawless leader. He wasn't telling me to be a flawless bookkeeper. He was commanding him to be strong and courageous because God was with him. All right. So this courage wasn't needed just for my spreadsheets or my client spreadsheets or the accounting software. And it was also needed for this particular podcast, believe that or not. I am not huge in content curation. Content curation terrifies me, but I felt anxious about it. I was worried that no one wanted to hear what I had to say or that my message wouldn't matter. Like the courage it takes just to plan an episode and to push play and record, it felt like a monumental effort. But that's where faith steps in. I pushed record and I push record with faith, remembering God's words. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Because someone might need to hear this. My podcast may help. And if anything, it's just out there, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but even years on down the line. This is information that it can speak to someone's spirit and mind. They might not need it right now, but they may need it later. So, for us as Christian business owners, listening to God's direction in these moments means seeking Him in prayer for clarity, but it also means having the courage to implement the good habits He calls us to do. It's about taking that overwhelming task of managing finances and breaking it down into manageable daily or even weekly steps. It's about having the courage to schedule. I'm looking at you guys, dedicated time for your bookkeeping, even when you rather be doing literally anything else. I get it. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm told this all the time because I love learning about bookkeeping and I love doing bookkeeping. And who would have knew? Because I didn't want to grow up and say I want to be a bookkeeper. So it's about being courageous enough to invest in a good accounting software, Zero or QuickBooks, whatever your preference is, or a qualified bookkeeper. Shameless plug. I'm a qualified bookkeeper. www.guidinggracebookkeeping.com. So even if it feels like an extra expense right now, but it will bring you order and peace later. So you can do it yourself or you can hire someone, a qualified bookkeeper to do it for you. So remember, the Lord our God is with us wherever we go, even into the depths of our spreadsheets and bank statements, every aspect of our life. It doesn't matter. God doesn't have a boundary, say, hey, I'm not going to be in that part of your life. No, He's everywhere. He's giving you courage, encouragement, and asking you to have courage, okay? So he's not just in our prayer meetings, he's present in our daily work, he's present in our life, our daily life, minute by minute, second by second. And he desires for us to steward our business as well, and not from a place of fear, but a place from faith and order, because running a business is a lot of faith. It's a lot when the phone lines are quiet, the emails are quiet, the potential clients are ghosting you, or whatever the case may be. It can be so discouraging. But we have to trust God's plan and be strong and courageous. All right. So, all right, family, it was a little deep. We covered a lot today about transforming that heavy knot of financial anxiety into a quiet confidence of a godly steward. Just like Joshua had to take action. Like he couldn't tell God, nah, bro, you telling me to be strong and courageous. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did question him. He's like, how can I do this? How can I go behind them? And God said it more than once, you guys. Be strong and courageous. He didn't say it once, and Joshua was like, "All right, good. You got it. I got it. I'm good. I heard you." Nah. Joshua was like, "You sure? I'm not qualified." You positive? You sure you calling the right kid of yours? And God just kept on encouraging him. So before we wrap up, I want to give you 3 simple, courageous calls to action that we're going to tackle this week to replace that fear with faith and structure. All right. So, number 1, schedule your courage. All right. So, open your calendar right now, or as soon as you stop driving. If you're driving, don't do it. And book just 30 minutes for a non-negotiable bookkeeping check-in this week. All right. So don't worry about finishing everything. This is your time to be courageous and face the numbers just for a little while. If you are a small business, it is very easy to get caught up in doing the things that you love in your business and let the admin stuff fall by the wayside. And then you have a mess. And then either you have to pay a bookkeeper a lot of money up front for a cleanup or a catch up because you've been negligent and not paying attention to your numbers, or you're going to be buried and overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that you have to comb through. So let's start building these good bookkeeping habits with even just a 30-minute non-negotiable bookkeeping check-in. That is part of running a successful and solid business as well. All right. So separate your sword and shield. If you haven't already, take the first step towards getting your finances organized by setting up separate, dedicated bank accounts for your business income and business expenses. Okay, so mixing finances are a breathing ground for confusion and anxiety. A clear boundary brings clear vision. We will dig into the importance of this in another episode. This is so important to do. We will dig into that. But I want to give you a little step that if you have not done it, you go ahead and start doing it now. Okay. And lastly, my favorite, pray Joshua 1 verse 9 over your desk. Literally write out Joshua 1:9 on a sticky note and place it right on your monitor next to your keyboard or even wherever you do your bookkeeping. And every time you start to feel that anxiety rise, read it out loud. Use God's word as your battle plan to replace the fear of what if with the faith of God is with me. All right. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode and journey to find courage in our bookkeeping. Because I have to even remind myself, don't get caught up in the podcasting and in my clients' books and then forget about Guide and Grace bookkeeping because I have to manage my own bookkeeping too. So remember that you are also a kingdom builder and you're using your gifts to touch God's people and be a minister to God's people. So I want you to remember, be strong and courageous. And the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Until next time. As we close out today's episode of Guiding Grace Bookkeeping, I truly pray that something resonated with your heart and brought you closer to financial clarity and peace. If you felt that connection, or if a specific insight sparked something within you, please consider taking a moment to leave us a review and subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more individuals like you. And if you know someone yearning for more grace and wisdom in their finances, be a blessing and share this episode with them. Remember, walking by faith and managing with grace can transform your entire world. Until next time, stay blessed, keep shining, and let's keep those books looking beautiful.